Hello, you are with OnEBoard Chat. This is episode 183. Our discussion today is about artificial intelligence in search engine optimization. We are continuing the discussion from November, where Molly introduced us to some tools, some approaches, artificial and AI automated content, predictive analytics, about many takeaways that you can check on our website, on our blog post. It's linked under the description. And after we finish the session today, there will be a new article too for you to take away the tips and secrets. Welcome, Molly. Thank you for being here. And we are with Peggy and Bob, our OnEBoard crew. We've just uploaded our first automated content on this channel. So we will be curious to see the analytics on YouTube, how it will tackle this content, because I marked it's synthetic. Bob created audio overviews and Molly created a video, so it's all artificial. Okay, tell us about your question today, and how did the landscape change since November? What are the major trends for this year?
Yeah, so I've been following this topic very closely. I've actually been utilizing it within my work. One of the major trends that I've seen that's been very impactful is Gemini. I've seen it deploy a lot of AI strategies across a lot of different Google products. I've actually been able to use Gemini to help me with some of my SEO work. Specifically keyword generating, content generation, SEO automation, site audits. So a site audit for an SEO is probably one of the most important things whenever you take on an SEO project, because you don't know what's there or what needs to be added. So being able to incorporate AI with SEO has been very, very important. Just because site audits can take a long time. It really depends on the size of the website. If you've got, a website that's 50,000 pages, that can take quite a while for one person to go in and look at all those pages and SEO coding and all that stuff. And I've been using Gemini to help me with site audits. And what I found is, surprisingly, it's very accurate. Which was surprising to me, because site audits, there's a lot that goes on. So there's things like metadata that we're looking at. There's different types of SEO coding like schema markup, JSON LD markup, site verifications, just all kinds of things that are going on. One of the things that I've found very effective with using Gemini is content audits. So that's one of the major things with the website. It's not only the technical SEO side of it, which is the coding and all the markup languages, but the content that's actually on the website as well. And a lot of times I see opportunities that business owners miss whenever it comes to their content. And that's why I've been just blown away by Gemini, because it can literally look at a page and it can say, hey, here are some recommendations that I would recommend that the business owner implement, such as using header tags, minimizing text content, utilizing images and video on a website. One of the other things that Gemini will eventually be able to do is help debug coding, right? So that's something that a lot of SEOs struggle with, is because sometimes we run into errors with SEO coding, right? Parsing errors, scripts that aren't firing SEO coding that's not fully completed or not fully utilized. And so that's one of the things I found to be extremely effective, is helping to debug some of these things. But I think probably one of the main takeaways from using AI with SEO is automation, right? So as I was mentioning earlier, auditing a website can take a long time. And by using this AI with SEO, it really helps speed things along. So that's one of the things that I've been utilizing. Some of the other things that I found interesting is being able to use AI for predictive analytics, right? So with predictive analytics, it is basically a way for users to use AI to forecast SEO trends and potential search engine ranking changes, analyzing vast amounts of data, and can help with content strategies and allow businesses to focus on resources and strategy to get the highest return on investment. Peggy, you have your hand up. I have a question.
Yeah, I know you're talking a lot about things. I was hoping maybe we could do a little, go a little deeper into some of the things you're talking about. You mentioned using AI tools for automation, and I'm wondering if you can talk about what kinds of tools you're using, maybe some specific tools that you've tried, and what kinds of automations work well and which ones don't work well with the AI tools.
Yeah, so I've been using a couple different tools. I use ChatGPT, Gemini. There's a few other SEO tools out there, but specifically when I'm referring to automation is in terms of site audits, right? So I personally, I've been doing SEO for over 15 years. And back in the day, when I first started, I mean, there was no automation. I mean, it just didn't exist. And so, I mean, from my perspective, it's a huge time saver, because instead of taking the manpower to manually go through every single page on a website, I can use these tools that can identify any potential issues. Whereas before, I mean, it would take me, like a week, a couple weeks, maybe even a month. I remember I did a site audit once for a e-commerce website. It was about 16,000 pages. And wow. Yeah, it took me about 2 weeks to fully go through all the pages. And one of the things that I discovered, and this is something very simple, and this happens more often than I care to mention, but sometimes website developers, they don't understand that whenever you build a website, it's really best to kind of marry the website with SEO at the same time. Just because, and this is what I discovered with this particular audit. So this developer, they had created a lot of e-commerce pages, right? So product pages. And what they had done is they went in, and instead of creating a brand new page that was specific to that product, they went in and copied the pages. So in this particular audit, I found like 300 pages that had the exact same title tag. And in SEO, that's a big no-no, because basically when you have a page or multiple pages that have the same title tag, how can Google distinguish the difference between the different products? They can't, because it has the same title tag. And so at this particular company, I went to the CMO. I'm like, listen, this is a big problem, because every page has to have that unique title tag. And whereas, and this is before all the AI and all this had happened, now I'm able to take and run a site audit, right? And it'll automatically detect, okay, you have X hundred pages that has the same title tag. Now, it still requires the manpower to go in and change those title tags, but I did something that took me weeks and converted it into minutes for me to identify. So that would be probably the main reason why I'm a big fan of AI SEO, because of the automation.
So
I also
think
wanted to
Nina
ask
has a
about the
question.
metadata. Yeah. So let's go back to our opening session on the 5th of January. We started from automation. I mean, automated tools, Google Vids for video creation, an application for following people's social media posts that Peggy shared, and metadata, photos metadata, which I have a question about it because the audio overviews Gemini generated via notebook was talking about automated recognition of photos metadata. So would you expand a little bit about this importance regarding the SEO audit of websites, whether you find easily attribution? Is it important to look into images metadata, and how does it evolve with Gemini 2, for example, if there is a difference?
Absolutely. So anytime you have specific content on a website, like a picture or video, there is a way to identify whether or not it has an alt tag. So if you're not familiar with an alt tag is a line of code that specifically identifies a picture or video, right? And there's actually schema markup that can be added to a website that will help identify that unique picture. For example, if I have a picture of a kitty cat or a kitten, I can go in and say, this is a black and white kitty cat, right? Versus not going in and not putting alt tag. Whenever a search engine reads the back of the website, it has no way to identify what the picture is. So one of the things that AI has been helpful to do is, and I can attest to this for ChatGPT, but you can actually take that same image, whatever image you're using on a website, and you can upload it and say, hey, I want you to create an alt tag for this image. And it will, right? Like literally in seconds. So that's one of the things that I've been using. I've been using it for several things. So keywords analysis, alt tags, coming up with custom SEO coding, just trying to make sure that I'm using the AI to automate my process. And even in addition to that, I've been experimenting with link building and using AI for voice search optimization. That's going to be a big thing this year, is voice search optimization, because people are using their cell phones and they're just using more voice related searches. And I've also been using it for SERP analysis. So being able to take AI and analyze search engine result pages to identify patterns and opportunities, examining ranking criteria. These AI tools can provide insights as to what it takes to achieve high rankings for specific search queries. So I think that, for me, is on the cutting edge, because I never had that ability before. Like I said, everything with SEO before was all manual. Everything had to be reviewed. Everything had to be analyzed. And it had to be done manually. Now, with these AI tools, specifically ChatGPT and Gemini, I can go in and ask for recommendations, and it helps. And I will say, and I always use this as a word of caution, always, always, always double check any AI results, because it's neat, it's like a new toy, it's fun, it's producing things, but at the same time we want to make sure that any AI powered results are legitimate, because we don't want to affect the search ranking of a website. We want to help the search ranking and the search ranking, and not detriment it.
So
Exactly.
I just wanted to, Nina, go ahead.
No,
I was just going
I
to
see
say,
Bob has hands up.
Yeah. Hey, Molly, just listening to you, I mean, it is so fascinating that what a person sees on their monitor might necessarily not be the be all end all. It seems to me like behind the curtain is the most important part of your website. And, I'm thinking that maybe I never knew that, and I'm thinking that maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for people that own websites to have an expert like you look at their site and identify things as, common, like we were talking about title tags or alt text. And I'm thinking maybe a lot of these themed, themes that you use to build your website might not be as thorough as you would want them to be. So in general, I mean, I guess, would your recommendation be that once you do a website, have an expert look at it to make sure that the important things are being identified, especially by the search engines?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned earlier, best case scenario is to have an SEO and a web developer work together at the same time while the website's being built. But if you're in a position that maybe you've already got a pre-existing website, or your website's already in development and you're not really sure about if it's been optimized for search, I would absolutely recommend an SEO take a look and at minimum do an audit just to identify any potential errors. And that's where I really feel like AI is rapidly changing the SEO landscape, because it makes processes more efficient, more personalized, more predictive. And by leveraging these AI tools and techniques, businesses can enhance their SEO strategies and automate tedious tasks. Again, going back to the old school of doing things, having to do everything manually. It really, really does help expedite the process. And I think one of the most important things, and this is something that is across the board for SEOs, is once a website is optimized for search. So let's say we've gone in and we've done the audit, we've optimized the metadata and schema and JSON LD and site verifications there, alt tags are there, title tags, descriptions, everything's done. It is really important for an SEO to monitor the work, because SEO has to do with algorithms, right? So there's umpteen number of algorithms that are out there. I'm not going to bore you with them right now, because that honestly, we could have a whole nother conversation about SEO algorithms. But one of the main things, and this is one of the things that I try to tell business owners, is there's two main tools that we use. Google Analytics and Google Search Console. And within Google Search Console, there's something known as Core Web Vitals. And Core Web Vitals is basically, it's a tool that monitors the health of the website. And it's very informative. It has to do with latency, site speed, making sure that everything is working correctly. In a perfect world, Google likes to see a website populate in 200 milliseconds or less. And that's another conversation about content management systems and things of that nature. But what I found is by using AI, some of these tedious tasks like keyword research or predictive analysis is becoming a pivotal asset in digital marketing strategies, because of the fact that we're able to take these repetitive tasks or these tedious tasks and automate them in minutes, whereas before it would take weeks.
Yes, Peggy.
So this is really interesting. And I wanted to sort of shift a little bit into something maybe that is a little more philosophical, but Gemini, ChatGPT, I'm having problems. ChatGPT, they aren't actually smart, right? They are trained on huge amounts of data, and that's what they are using when you use them as a tool. And two things that I've been thinking about. The first thing is, I read a lot of discussions from SEO people, and there's a real concern that some people who do SEO and who write articles and so forth focus on certain things that are easy to measure, which aren't necessarily the most important things to look at, right? You see a lot of people who are sort of SEO guru types, and they say, you've got to do this, got to do that, because they're sometimes because they're promoting certain tools, or things like that. So my concern is that you have these generative AI things, they are trained on the open web. They are not necessarily trained on only the best information. They are trained on all the information. And I think that a concern is that a lot of the information that they're trained on is just not correct or not that useful. So it feels to me like this is where human expertise comes in. You as an expert can go in and say, you know, I ran this audit, but maybe this is actually not necessarily the best course because of my own expertise. Are you seeing things like that? Or do you think that in your experience, using these AI tools is mostly correct?
I would say most of the AI SEO tools are mostly correct. However, as an SEO, I would always go in and fact check. I always go in and make sure that whatever results are produced from AI, that they meet the guidelines for SEO. So Google has a group, well, it's not ran by, but John Mueller, he's one of the senior SEO trends analysts at Google. He's constantly on Webmaster Central going over articles and different videos on AI, best AI practices. They even have a section in Webmaster Tools about artificial intelligence. And it's something that I think in the future, we're going to see it become more commonplace for AI to be used with SEO, but it's just like any other brand new technology. It's like, you know, tipping your toe in the pool, so to speak, to see how the water feels. It's one of those things that we're still in the beginning phase of making sure that, like you pointed out, the facts are everything. Right. And I have personally seen, I'm a part of all the SEO groups on LinkedIn and Twitter and, you know, all those places. And I have actually seen some SEOs go out there and say, oh, you need to do SEO, yada, yada, yada. And it's wrong. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's to your point that, you know, this AI, even though it's pulling in probably results that are truthful and accurate, but at the same time, it's pulling in information that isn't. Yeah. And so I think we're still kind of in the beginning waters of, you know, making sure that that information that's fed into AI is 100% accurate. I don't know if there's any safe holds that's currently being implemented with that, but that's to make your point. I think that's very valid, just to make sure that any results you get, keyword research, video optimization, image optimization, SERP analysis, SEO audits, everything needs to get double checked by an SEO.
So you still need the human touch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really, you know, and I've had people say, oh, well, isn't the AI, isn't it going to, you know, replace you? I mean, are we going to even need SEOs anymore? And my answer is always, no, you're always going to have an SEO. I think AI is a useful tool, but I don't think it's eventually ever going to be the one single resource that a business owner would go to for SEO. You're always going to have a technical SEO or content SEO go over the work just to make sure it's done accurately.
Well, I would like to tell the story in confirmation what we this week been doing. I have my first licensed image. It's under Creative Commons. I have 6,000 photos on Google Maps, but this is the first one I add copyright, because we have the professional specialization of Bob, who is a long-time wildlife photographer. So that's where the professional expertise comes to help with the automation. And I've been learning about metadata. Then we created a tutorial in audio overviews and ended up in the video. So that's a story about the making pieces together from the automation and the professional expertise and going through the steps so we can prove them right at this point. And I'm very happy that metadata is of such importance largely for automation. So it's something tiny, but can be scaled and continue to expand learning. And I just want to add that I was thinking how to sunset my website at certain point in the future. That could be sounding strange, but we are born and we eventually leaving the world. So I was thinking about this time of period when nobody will need my site. And I would recommend audio overviews with Notebook LM because it takes the website and gives you a short audio conversation. And it could also serve the trend now, which is the trend for this year, and eventually grab this piece of content like the summary of what I've been doing. That's what I was thinking about my website in the future. So it would be automated to a tiny piece of conversation, everything I did, and upload it on my YouTube eventually. So that's an. Can you add something about more specific about predictive analysis for this year, for 2025, like the big picture?
Yeah, so I mean, with predictive analysis, it's powered by analytics. So some of these AI tools, they have the capability of forecasting SEO trends, right? So things like content creation, targeting topics, targeting keywords, targeting demographics, targeting customers, right? So if you're selling cosmetics, obviously there's a certain segment of society that uses cosmetics versus people who don't. So some of these tools, they get super hyper focused on the different demographics and different potential customers. And it's probably one of the things that helps with professionals make better data-backed decisions, right? So whereas before, maybe you might be guessing who your target market is or who your customers are, some of these AI tools, they actually help professionals make better decisions on the content, on the videos or images or products that they're selling. It even is one of the things is to analyze past search behavior. So what were we doing before, right? What we were doing before, and what can we do better to improve to where the keywords and topics will trend in the future. And it's one of those things that being able to use AI to leverage content strategies to help with predictive analysis is super important, because in SEO, in I'll say this, I've met several major SEO people. I'm not going to drop names, but they're top in the field SEOs. And one of the things that we're always talking about is how quickly SEO changes. And I think that's one of the difficult things for a SEO person, whoever they are. They're constantly learning, constantly. Algorithms are changing. There's core web algorithm changes, and all this is so much. I mean, it literally changes every hour, every day. In fact, one of my trips at Google, I actually got to talk to a person in the SEO department. I'm not going to drop names, but I actually asked him, I said, how many times a day does the search algorithms change? Because I was just curious, you know, like how many times a day does it change? And he said on average, 8 to 10 times a day. Now, this was a few years ago. So I'm imagining by this point, it's probably more like, 12 to 15 times a day. And if you can imagine being an SEO, it's like you're constantly chasing the tail of a dragon. It's like you're constantly just trying to keep on top of what's going on. And I think that's one of the main things that I like about utilizing artificial intelligence is to keep up with trends, to keep up with what's going on with search algorithms. What can I do as an SEO that's going to help this business owner get on page 1 of Google? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what every business owner is trying to do. They're trying to find traffic. They're trying to find customers. They want that #1 spot. And it's like I try to explain, while SEO is important, it is super important. Technical and content SEO is important. But at the same time, you have to look at the whole big picture. And I think by using these tools for predictive analysis, for AI, for predictive analysis, it really, really is a benefit. It's a big game changer and time saver, because I can learn in minutes what it would have taken me hours.
Mm.
Do you have, guys, more questions as we are going to wrap up? I'm sorry we didn't keep up with it. Was so interesting. We forgot the live chat. Are there any questions?
I've been watching. No questions in the chat so far.
I just have a statement. This is just so fascinating. I wish I knew more, but then again, it's changing, so I'm not missing out.
Well, at the end of the day, the reason why I like SEO and why I'm constantly researching it is because I like to help clients succeed online. And I'll never forget one of my very first clients, and I love this story, so I'm going to share it. I had just gone into business. I maybe had been in business a couple months, and I was approached by a local wedding DJ, and he's like, I need a brand new website and I need a logo. I said, I can help you out. I can build your website. Now, this is a long time ago. This is actual custom HTML. So no content management systems, no WordPress. I actually went in and coded the whole website, and I took it live. And a couple weeks later, he calls me up. He goes, I love the website. I love the logo, but I'm not getting any traffic. I'm not getting any customers. I'm just like out there, And I'm like, oh, well, that's because it's not optimized for search. And he goes, what are you talking about? And so I tried to explain what is SEO, right? So what is it? It's how a search engine reads a website. And he's like, you know what? He's like, this is above my skill set. I trust you. Just go ahead and get it done. And I said, okay. So I went in, added metadata, canonical links. Again, this is a long time ago, before all the algorithms, and took it live. And a couple months later, he called me up. He goes, I have great news. I was like, what's that? He goes, I just got a phone call from David's Bridal Corporate, and the wedding DJ at the Avenues Mall quit. And so they did a web search for wedding DJ Jacksonville, Florida, and guess who they found? They found me. And now I'm the new wedding DJ at the Avenues Mall. And I love hearing stories like that. And I have many, many, many other stories, so much of that. But at the end of the day, that's why I love SEO, because I love helping businesses succeed and getting found on Google. And with all these new AI tools, it just helps SEOs. I think it's kind of like a toolkit, right? So it's just something extra that we have in the back that we can use to kind of, maybe go over the work we've already done, or come up with some ideas that maybe we wouldn't have thought of originally, and then definitely monitor SEO trends.
Thank you, Molly. So thank you, everyone who's watching. Next episode is 3 tips in 10 minutes with Priya Chandra. That is next Sunday at the same time. It's 11 a.m. We are usually online each Sunday. Thank you again, and see you next time.
Thank you.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.